Mo didn't think that there would be someone to ask for the price as soon as he set up his stall. He immediately stood up with surprised joy. All the charms are 10,000 apiece, you are psychotic. Before Mo finished speaking, he received those 3 words, followed by the backs of the 2 people walking off into the distance. Mo wasn't disappointed. After all, his charms could only be sold to those who could recognize their worth. Only those with keen eyes could see that his charms carried a sliver of spiritual chi. But what made Mo disappointed was that he had already set up his stall for 5 days in a row. And even if there were quite a lot of people who were asking, he hadn't been able to sell even one. More so, his charm stall had already become famous in the Sea Treasure Garden because of his charms sold for 10,000 a sheet. On the 9th day, Mo was beginning to give up. He was already certain that there was no one here that could recognize the worth of his products. Only he knew that these charms were worth more than 10,000. Even 100,000 wouldn't be expensive for it. However, it was pointless as the talent amongst the charm makers could not be recognized. Mo decided today was the last day. If no one bought his charms today, he would go to a labor market and find a job first. Otherwise, he would not even be able to eat. Mo was very bored. He was ready to pack up the stall, but the conversation between the man and woman walking over caught his attention. It was far, but his hearing wasn't ordinary. He heard it very clear. Jingwen, this place is full of people who sell fake medicine. It's where people who believe the mystical come. You have already bought enough magical relics. I think you should stop. I already contacted a brain hospital in France which is said to be very famous. Why don't we transfer your mother to that hospital for treatment? The one speaking was a tall and handsome man. The woman was also quite tall. She had a cold face and an upper-class temperament. She was a beauty, however. This attractive woman looked frigid and seemed to be troubled by the look of her brows. Wang Peng, I didn't ask you to come with me. You came yourself. Has my mom not been to enough hospitals lately? You recommended 5 or 6 as well, but to no avail. If you don't have the patience, you can leave if you want. This woman's tone was curt and unfeeling and, clearly, she didn't have a good impression of the handsome man beside her. The other woman looked very soldierly. She only followed closely the woman called Jing Wen without speaking at all, and by the looks of it, also seemed to be her bodyguard. Mo thought. The woman said that her mother was unconscious for 3 years, so by the looks of it, her mother was probably in a vegetative state. His almost level 1 mind-clearing charm should be able to wake her up. Thinking about this, he immediately started to promote charms for sale. Possessed, vegetative states or impaired bodies. One of my charms will be effective. 2 of them can even bring a complete recovery. Mo said this on purpose, of course. His purpose was to see if he could do business with this pretty lady. If this woman could afford to visit multiple different countries, this definitely meant that she was wealthy. She wouldn't mind parting with 10 or 20 grand. The troubled Su Jingwen heard that there was a charm that could cure vegetables and immediately felt as if she had heard heavenly music. She didn't even think before coming to Mo's stall. May I ask, can you charms cure someone in a vegetative state? Su Jingwen's voice was shaking. It was like a drowning person who grabbed a log. Mo smiled calmly, said, of course. My charms can cure someone with only 1 breath remaining, much less someone in a vegetative state. They are passed down from my ancestor. Mo was going to continue to conjure bullshit, but the lovely lady interrupted him and asked desperately, my mother is in a vegetative state and I wish to wake her up. What charm do I need? Mo nodded and made a contemplative and intense face and said, this is simple. You only need to buy a spirit cleansing charm. I have 2 spirit cleansing charms. The high quality one is 20,000. The common one is 10,000. And it is non-negotiable. What? You cheater. How dare you swindle people on the streets? I'm calling the police immediately. Hearing that 2 charms made out of Huang Biao were being sold for $30,000. This handsome guy named Wang Peng immediately became enraged. He pointed at Mo's nose and swore. Mo slapped Wang Peng's hand to the side and gripped his hand sneakily so that Wang Peng would be unable to use his arm in the future. It wouldn't be seen now, but later on, when Wang Peng's hand would tense, his wrist would dislocate. Mo's movements were completed in one swift motion. Other people couldn't tell except for the soldierly-looking woman who followed Su Jingwen and saw this. A glimmer of shock flashed across her eyes. but she immediately went back to her usual calm expression, kicking Wang Peng's hand to the side. Yi Mo spoke coldly. I didn't make you buy it. What a joke. PS is off. I'm doing business here, so don't interfere with me. How dare you? Wang Peng's was so furious. But before he could finish, he was stopped by the cold-looking woman. Wang Peng, please move aside, Su Jingwen said coldly to Wang Peng and then turned to Yi Mo saying apologetically, sorry, master. Jingwen sells this palm-sized yellow paper for 10,000. It is so obvious that he's lying. Tens of thousands of dollars is a small matter, but what if something happens to your mother? Wang Peng still wanted to persuade her, but Su Jingwen's complexion turned cold. It was evident that she was getting impatient. You two can leave. I won't sell my things to you since this guy here is annoying me. Yi Mo pointed at Wang Peng and said to Su Jingwen, even if this person was tricking her, it was only tens of thousands of dollars. And that really wasn't much for her Su family. As long as there was a sliver of hope, she wouldn't give up. Although in the depth of her heart, she also knew that this person's words were probably 99% fake. She still wanted to try nonetheless. Su Jingwen stared coldly at Wang Peng and said, Mr. Wang, you're free to leave. Please stop following me or I will be calling the police. Hearing Su Jingwen's words, Wang Peng stared bleakly at Yi Mo. Silently, he vowed bitterly that Yi Mo would face the music for his swindling. When he returned, he would call people to break this guy's arms and legs. I want all of your spirit cleansing charms here. How much is it? Seeing Wang Peng had left, Su Jingwen asked desperately. Yi Mo took the 2 spirit cleansing charms and said, I worked my heart out for this. So of course, there won't be much. Only these 2. But you only need this good one. As for the other one, you can store it in a jade bottle and, usually, it would still be working in 10 years. It will be $30,000 for the 2 of them. As he spoke, Yi Mo took the 2 spirit cleansing charms and gave them to Su Jingwen, while showing her the one that was close to level 1. Su Jingwen took the 2 charms but gave him a $50,000 check. Since Yi Mo wasn't someone who liked to take advantage of others, he took out another protection charm and fireball charm and gave them to Su Jingwen. He said, since you gave me 20,000, I'll give these 2 to you as well. This one is a protection charm. When you go back, put it in a small pouch and wear it on your body. As for the fireball one, it's for self-defense. If you encounter someone who tries to harm you, just throw it over and say Lin 1. After hearing Yi Mo's words, she hurriedly asked, Master, how do I use this spirit cleansing charm? 1. These charms usually refer to the ones made of paper. The paper bombs in Naruto are a good indication of what they look like, and most of them are consumables, so they could only be used once. 2. Huang Biao, yellow paper used to inscribe runes.